Greetings, Goblin Stoppers, and welcome to what is easily going to be the most controversial episode of threat assessment to date. Today, we are going to be giving credence to some very unpopular takes about depression. And given this fact, I'm going to include a link and a timestamp down below for those of you who are looking to immediately attack me on the grounds that I just don't understand. So feel free to follow that if you feel like you would like a bit more context. With that being said, this is threat assessment, depression.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
According to the DSM-5, depression, otherwise known as major depressive disorder or clinical depression, is a common and serious mood disorder, and patients must have 5 or more of the following symptoms. 1. Depressed mood most of the day, nearly every day. 2. Markedly diminished interest or pleasure in all or almost all activities most of the day, nearly every day. 3. Significant weight loss when not dieting or weight gain, or decreased or increased appetite nearly every day. 4. A slowing down of thought and a reduction of physical movement, observable by others, not merely subjective feelings of restlessness or being slowed down. 5. Fatigue or loss of energy nearly every day. 6. Feelings of worthlessness or excessive or inappropriate guilt nearly every day. 7. Diminished ability to think or concentrate or indecisiveness nearly every day. And finally, recurrent thoughts of death, recurrent suicidal ideation without a specific plan, or a suicide attempt, or a specific plan for committing suicide. While this may be a very well-structured definition with a lot of criteria, it doesn't add much to the highly debated cause of depression, and this is going to be our focus moving forward. The chicken and the egg analysis of depression asks, do the symptoms of depression exist as a result of destructive behavior? Or does destructive behavior exist as a result of depression? Well, as the saying would suggest, both portions are equally correct. As I've mentioned in my watch listed on Common Filth Radio, LP from the channel iHypocrite has made some pretty excellent points on how self-respect affects depression.
What it really boils down to is self-esteem. This is what I believe. I believe depression, the root cause of depression is a lack of self-esteem and not really understanding that, like, if you just go out and have a lot of casual sex, you're going to start to lose self-respect, or do drugs or whatever it is, just like chasing the next fun, that you're going to lose self-respect and you could fall into a serious depression, which is not a laughing matter.
And the response to all of this is usually just a lecture from the depressed person about how standards are arbitrary and how their actions have no effect on their self-esteem. And I had argued on the Daily Cope that I think that depression is just a manifestation of guilt over poor behavior.
Depression is almost like the spirit trying to warn the flesh that it's being hurt. You know what I mean? That it's like this atheistic mindset that everything is arbitrary is the source of the depression, and these people just don't see it.
When you self-destruct, you may be able to rationalize the pain out of your conscious mind, but the damage to your soul still takes place. There are instances in life in which we don't know what is good for us. And that's why it's so important to be self-critical and to surround yourself with people who love you enough to pull you away from things like this.
And don't even flaunt that ignorant phrase, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Depression is a life sentence.
The most infuriating trait of depressed people is their arrogance. And one of the most obnoxious defenses for their attitudes is the real depression argument. And the criteria for what constitutes real depression is just your answer to the question, have you gotten out of it? And if you answer yes, then that means that your depression was never real to begin with.
Some people might feel extended periods of sadness, but they are far from depressed. What you've got to understand is that nobody facing true depression can ever possibly overcome it.
I can't even begin to describe how high-minded and moronic this is as a concept. These angsty nihilists are talking about their mood disorder as though it has some transcendent quality to it. Everyone looks into the abyss at some point in their life. Other people know what you are talking about. You're not tuned into something that other people don't understand. And depression is not insincere because someone else had the balls to get themselves out of a bad situation and you didn't. I don't mean to come off as dismissive as I probably do in this video, and I understand the concept that pain is relative. It's just that after a certain point, it does become, someone else just wheeled the corpse out of a crime scene. I think that you can take on your day. And when people try to tell you that there's bigger problems in the world, it's not meant to be demeaning like you may think it is. It's just that they're trying to invoke a sense of perspective and gratitude in you.
No lighthouse to guide my weary footsteps, but Jesus, he answered my plea.
Depression may be defined as a mental illness, but that doesn't remove personal accountability from the equation. And perhaps there are grains of truth to the old adages that our boomer parents use to encourage us. And I think that depressed people want to hear me say that they will be stuck in this conundrum for the rest of their lives because it validates their own apathy. You can choose to allow your cynicism to let you succumb to this mental illness, or you can place your faith in something greater than yourself and feel truly comforted for the first time in your life.
I'm dying inside, and all I see are demons. I try to hide all my deepest feelings. I'm dying inside, and all I see are demons. I try to hide all my deepest feelings.